I had a really constructive meeting with Commissioner Hansen. Commissioner and I obviously discussed Ireland's presidency in the second half of 2026, the key role that Ireland will have to play. My role as the Minister for Agriculture for Ireland will have the presidency and the chair of that body of the Agfish Council in the second half of 2026 when the culmination of CAP negotiations is at its height. So we discussed that at length. I also raised, absolute priorities around CAP, around the need for a fully funded single fund with the two pillars. But I recognise Commissioner Hansen wants the same thing. He has been working towards this, and we discussed how I can support him in his efforts, as he is one voice in the Commission, and there are a lot of competing demands which we know. But we discussed the impact of not getting this right, what it would have on our farmers, what it would have on generational renewal, how our farmers have invested heavily in their farms, supported by the Irish government, supported by the EU through measures like TAMS and beyond. Those farmers have bills to repay, loans to pay off. We can't have a drastic change to how our farming system is funded. We discussed that in great depth, and it was a very constructive meeting. I also raised my concerns around the EU deforestation regulation, and I recognise the fact Commissioner Hansen has made great efforts in trying to simplify what is potentially a very problematic regulation to come into effect next year for Irish farmers. I had specific recommendations around how we could make it much more easy to be administered from an Irish perspective. He took those points of view on board, and it's something I'll continue to work closely with him on, because I am really concerned that the regulation at present around deforestation would put a very significant burden on our farmers at a time where we need to reduce the regulation on our farmers, cut red tape, and not increase bureaucracy for them. He knows very clearly the importance of the nitrates derogation for our Irish farming sector, not just for our 7,000 derogation farmers, but for all of the farming ecosystem, because we are hugely interdependent on each other. Obviously, final say around this goes under DG Envy and Water, which is under Commissioner Roswell, but Commissioner Hansen does have a role to play in terms of supporting us in those endeavours, and he's very aware that this is a top priority for us in Ireland this year.